Bell Tire. Victor Martinez and Johnny Peralta paced a 12-hit Tigers attack last night with 2 doubles apiece. 105 doubles on the year now for this Tigers offense. They hope to keep it going tonight as we welcome you to Comerica Park. We're in downtown Detroit, third and final game of the series featuring the Minnesota Twins and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, glad to have you with us tonight as we wrap up this homestand and this series. Rod Allen joins us in a moment. The Tigers, of course, have gotten great performances out of the bullpen. The hope tonight is they get a good performance out of their starting pitcher. Now, Rick Porcello gave up 6 runs in 3 innings in his last start against the Red Sox, but maybe these Twins are the perfect tonic for Rick Porcello. Porcello in his career has really picked up pretty good numbers against the Minnesota Twins. A record of 3-3, that's .500, but more importantly, his ERA 2.66, and he'll try and slow down the Twins again here tonight as the Tigers go for the sweep in the series. Stay with us now, starting lineups. First pitch coming up next. In the meantime, we go back to the Call Sam studio, and here's Mickey York. Great night for baseball here in the Motor City. We are glad you are with us as the Twins and Tigers wrap up this series. Tigers also wrapping up the homestand here tonight under clear skies, warm weather. And we'll check out the Minnesota Twins starting lineup presented tonight by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. They have Denard Span leading it off in center field, followed by Alexi Casilla and Justin Morneau. Michael Kadire is at second base. Jim Thome the DH. Then Danny Valencia at third base. Their bottom three has Delman Young, Jason Arepko, and Drew Butera. The scouting report on Rick Porcello is presented tonight by Ace Hardware.
Well, what Rick Porcello needs is short memory. 5 days ago, he was not very good against the Boston Red Sox. Lasted only 3 innings and threw 75 pitches. And when he is right, he's a ground ball machine. Since coming to the show, averaging almost 2 ground balls for every fly ball in his last 5 against the Twins. The earned run average is sparkling just above 2.0.
Well, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, make sure you bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you'll get yourself a free small order of curly fries.
Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively, as always, presented by the fine folks at the Beaumont Hospitals. Kelly, Dirks, Bosch in the outfield. Inge, Peralta, Santiago, Cabrera in the infield. Alex Avila is back behind the plate tonight after having last night off.
So again, another warm night here at the ballpark. 87 degrees our game time temperature tonight as Denard Span steps in. 2 out of 9 in the series. And Span will be followed by Casilla and then Justin Morneau. First pitch of the ball game is outside. We are underway for the final game of the series. Tigers in search of the sweep here. And this would really make a nice homestand if they win this one here tonight. The 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes on Span.
Shadows all over the ballpark today. And Bosch in the outfield in shadows. Kelly in left also in shadows in the outfield. Andy Dirks playing center field. Jackson getting the night off, at least at the start of this game. If we see Jackson in this game, we know that's a good sign because that means the Tigers are winning the game.
Meanwhile, 3-0 on Denard Span. And he looks at a strike, 3-1.
Dirks also told me his natural position is center field. So he's awfully comfortable out there.
Well, he's looked awfully comfortable in left, hasn't he?
He said that the ball slices on him in left field. He says it's been a difficult adjustment, although he's made it look rather easy.
3-2 now on Span. Rick Porcello trying to bounce back after that rough outing against the Boston Red Sox. He gave up 6 runs, 3 innings. And he popped him up. Left side of the infield, the shortstop Peralta, the left fielder Kelly, and Peralta hauls it in.
All of the defenders today are really going to have to help each other out today. There's a lot of wind up there today. And you saw that ball kind of drift on Peralta. If the outfielders can call them off, that's exactly what they need to do here today. The wind was really howling at batting practice today. It felt like it was blowing out about 30 miles per hour.
Still is right now as you see the flags blowing out toward left. So anything in the air toward left field could be a bit of an adventure tonight. Here's Casilla. And he looks at ball 1. Alexi 1 for 8 in the series. He has 1 RBI. And the 1-0. Tigers coming into play at 28 and 26, 2 over the 500 mark. That sails outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Maybe more importantly for the Tigers, they have really beaten up on these Minnesota Twins. It has been a while since they've lost to these Twins. There's a strike call. They won a 2-game series in Minneapolis earlier this year, and they've won the first 2 in this set. Two and 2 on Alexi Casilla. And he got him. Strike 3. Casilla called out of there. First strikeout of the game for Porcello.
If Porcello continues to throw his two-seam fastball inside as he does here to Casilla, his numbers against left-handed batters are going to go down. His numbers are under 200 against right-handers, but left-handers hitting better than 300 this season against Porcello.
That'll bring up the first baseman Justin Morneau. who doubled his home run total in the ball game last night by hitting 2. Morneau has 4 RBIs in this series, and with the multitude of injuries they have had, they are really counting on his bat. They've got Morneau 3rd tonight and Kadire 4th. Kubel is still out. He's been their best hitter. He sprained his foot in the first game of the series.
Porcello doesn't mind the fact that Kubel's not playing here tonight. Kubel was hitting .500 against Porcello in his career. 11 for 22. No small sampling.
2-1.
There's those splits I was talking about. Porcello needs to get better against lefties. Terry Francona loaded up 7 left-handers against Porcello 5 days ago, and he wasn't very good that day. As I told you, he lasted only 3 innings and threw 75 pitches against the Boston Red Sox.
And the 6 runs that he gave up made his ERA bump up from 3.08 to 3.93. Here's the 2-2 to Morneau. In the air, shallow left, charging on the play is Kelly, staring into the sunlight. 1-2-3 inning for Rick Porcello. Nice start to this one tonight. Tonight, the Tigers starting lineup is presented this evening by Big Boy. Don Kelly will lead things off, followed by Santiago and Bosch, Cabrera. Then Victor Martinez, Andy Dirks in center, Peralta, Avila, and Inge rounded out tonight for Jim Leland. Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Scott Baker. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Scott Baker not overpowering, but gets lots of swings and misses on his fastball. As a matter of fact, he has struck out 61 this year in 61 innings pitched so far. He also has a curve, a change, and a slider to go along with that fastball, and he's a winner. 6 most victories, 29 by a right-hander since the beginning of 2009.
And Baker will try and pitch them to their first win against the Tigers since September 1st of last year. The Tigers have won 8 straight against Minnesota in that span. Kelly fouls one back, 1-2. September 2nd, 2010, Don Kelly homered. His only career at bat against Baker. About another one. Ball inside, 2-2. Kelly, Santiago, and Bosch here in the Tigers' first inning. Fouled away again.
That's what Baker will do. He will live with the fastball right around the belt buckle. It looks very good. It's only at 91 miles an hour, and it's very difficult to get to. Lloyd McClendon said he was going to tell his team that somehow, some way, you have to lay off that pitch, because if you don't, he will strike you out.
Meanwhile, Kelly with an emergency hack there stays alive.
Lloyd also said the home plate umpire also plays a key anytime Baker is on the mound, whether they're giving him that elevated fastball or not. Rob Drake, is the home plate umpire here tonight.
Here's the 2-2 inside. You know, it's funny how the umpire can play a role. I remember when Kenny Rogers would hear, he would say that he would know going into a start whether or not he was going to have a good one based on who the home plate umpire would be.
He knew how much he could expand the strike zone.
Exactly. How much of the outside corner they would give him. Fouled away again by Kelly.
Already a really good at bat here by Don Kelly. Getting the start in the outfield today, leading off Austin Jackson with the night off at the beginning of the night, and by giving Jackson the night off, he gets 2 days off to re-energize those young legs he has.
This will be the 9th pitch coming up in this at bat, the leadoff at bat for the Tigers. And it's put in play, but into shallow left field. Delman Young for the out, one gone.
Let's take a look at the Minnesota Twins defensively, as always presented by Tim Hortons. You know that Young is in left, Span, he's in center, Repko is in right, Valencia, Casilla, Kadir, Morneau round out the remainder of the infield, and Butera. Drew Butera getting the first start in this series behind the plate.
Tim Hortons. You go to Tim Hortons?
I've been there before, but I don't make regular stops there. How about you?
Good bagels, good donuts, good coffee. Anything you want.
Well, I may have to start.
Absolutely. 1-0 on Santiago. Santiago batting .262, an opportunity tonight to play second base here against the Twins.
I think with Porcello being on the mound today, Jim anticipated quite a few ground balls, and maybe one reason why Santiago's in there today at second base. He's an outstanding defender.
And the other reason might be that he hits really well against Baker. .348 career. The 1-1. Bouncing ball to short. Casilla charging. 2 gone. He's going to bring up Brennan Bosch. Baker is 29 years old, out of Shreveport, Louisiana. 6'4", 215. He's been a really good producer in their rotation for Minnesota. Big time winner for them. Bosch, a .254 average. He's had 3 RBIs in this series. Brennan now has knocked in 25 for the year. In the air to right field. Fairly deep. Playable though. Repko is back. That'll end the inning. Tigers go 1-2-3 against Baker. To the second we go. Arby's since 1849. Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. And by Arby's. Stop by and try the Market Fresh grilled chicken pecan salad sandwich. Another sparkling day here in the Motor City. Glad to have you with us tonight as we go to the top of the second at Comerica Park. And another warm, breezy evening here in downtown Detroit. Michael Kadire leads it off for the Minnesota Twins. And Porcello starts him off with a fastball strike. Kadire, then Tomey, and then Valencia. Pretty good series for Kadire. He's had a couple of RBIs, 3 hits. Numbers last year took a nosedive from a 2009 season in which he hit a lot of home runs, 32. But the power numbers dipped quite a bit last year. He hit only 14 home runs.
And they moved into that new ballpark. All of their numbers, I believe, from a power standpoint, went down.
And that seemed to be the main culprit, the new yard. 5 homers this year. And the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Something else Minnesota not doing very well this year. They're not playing very good baseball at home. They've only won 6 games in Minnesota. They've lost 15.
Couldn't hold up, and Kadire is out of there.
They used to dominate the opposition in Minnesota, whether it be playing in that dome or the first year they played at Target Field. Really good breaking ball here by Porcello.
Well, I certainly don't know this to be fact, but I would think that the Twins had somewhat of a mental edge when they played at the Metrodome when teams came in there. And maybe some of that mental edge is gone with the new ballpark, as spectacular as it is.
Good point.
Jim Tomey, the batter. 3 for 6 in the series. And a ball outside, 2-0. 593 home runs in his career, so he's still 7 shy of the 600 plateau. Bouncing ball right side, righty Cabrera. Porcello covers, 2 gone. 5 in a row retired by Rick. Here's Valencia. Valencia right now with a 6-game hitting streak. They're waiting for him to get going. His cameo last year, or his first big league chance last year, resulted in some pretty good numbers. Consider their third baseman of the future. 2-0 the count. Although this year his numbers are down. .231 batting average coming in. Twins lineup has been in such flux with all the injuries, guys going in and out. Tomey and Morneau and Mauer and Young. He takes a ball outside, 3-0.
That's something Ron Gardenhire was able to do with Valencia last year, his rookie campaign in the majors. He was able to bat him a lot lower in their batting order because most of the other pieces were healthy. This year he's been forced in batting him higher in the lineup, and he's been getting more attention.
It's a 2-out walk, and the Twins have their first base runner. They'll bring up Delman Young. Only 1 hit in the series so far for Young. He has an RBI. And Delman off to a slow start, courtesy of a stop on the disabled list, batting .211. Porcello, in his last start against the Twins back on the 10th of May, went 5 innings, allowed just 1 run. And we highlighted his numbers at the top of the telecast. A good ERA career against this Minnesota team of 2.66. And Rick has had some really good starts. One of those against the Twins. Here are those numbers against Minnesota back on May 10th. But maybe the start he had in Pittsburgh, the start after that, was the best we've seen him throw. One hitter. Line drive to left, right at Kelly. And that'll take care of the Twins. No runs, a walk, one left. We'll go to the bottom of the second. McDonald's Player of the Game is presented tonight by the Angus Third Pounder. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space and then the player's uniform number to 37338 or vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. See the final results postgame during Tigers Live. And here comes Miguel Cabrera to lead it off. What do you got tonight for the Player of the Game? You got a feeling anywhere?
Let me think about it for just a moment, and I'll come up with someone. This cat right here is always a good bet.
That's for sure. Ball high, 2-0. I have a feeling tonight I'm going to go with Andy Dirks.
That's a good call. I was thinking exactly the same thing, and you got it out before I did.
Well,
so I'll
right.
pick somebody else.
We can share the pick. Here's Mr. Dirks waiting his chance. The 2-0. There's a strike on Cabrera.
I'll go Peralta.
Will you?
He's been wearing out this Minnesota Twins team this year.
Another outstanding choice.
A couple doubles last night for Johnny.
Swing and a miss, and Cabrera now has a 2-2 count.
Minnesota comes in with a 4.87 earned run average as a team, which is the worst in the American League. And partner, I guess the question I have for you, do you put any stock in the fact that there may not be that much confidence without Mauer behind the plate?
Ooh, that's a good question. See if this one gets back out of play first. And it will. That's a really good question. And because so much is made about Mauer's offensive potential and what he does with the bat, but I think he's equally important behind the plate. You may be right.
He's won Gold Gloves,
yep.
And the pitching numbers they've posted this year are nothing like the numbers we've seen in the past.
And you got to believe that Mauer is certainly more knowledgeable concerning this staff than the guys that have filled in for him. And that's to take nothing away from Butera.
Well, Rivera caught the first couple of days, and he made at least 5-6 trips to the mound in both games.
That's a good point. And there it is, 4.87, the highest ERA in the major leagues, not just the American League. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Cabrera is out of there, one gone.
He worked Cabrera pretty good there. I mean, he threw some fastballs up that he was able to get a piece of, and he sped his bat up by throwing those fastballs. Then he threw that breaking ball down, and Cabrera couldn't hold up on it.
Here's Victor Martinez. 3 for 9 in the series for Victor. A couple of doubles in last night's ball game. Tigers continue to be an extra base machine this year.
You have to be careful if you hang out around the batting cage and you shake hands with Victor Martinez. You got to give him some knuckles. He's got so much pine tar on his batting gloves. I made that mistake today. I had to go wash my hands.
Well, judging by his uniform on his shoulder, he has a lot on the bat as well.
I mean, you go shake his hand, all of a sudden your hands get stuck to the glove.
And you know that stuff doesn't come off easily, does it?
Oh, my goodness.
1 ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Victor.
He missed with his location there. Butera wanted that fastball in. Baker missed with that pitch. It tailed back over the heart of the plate, but it tailed too far away from Martinez. He couldn't get to it. Take a look at Butera. He wants it in. And look where it ends up.
Way outside. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball right side, and it's going to find a hole.
He's hard to defend. He is very hard to defend because from both sides of the plate, he will hit the ball from foul line to foul line. And you can see that Kadire is playing more up the middle. He dives for it but can't slow it down.
That'll bring up Andy Dirks, batting a healthy .281. A couple of hits and 3 at bats in this series, plus an RBI. Dirks in the 6th spot for Jim Leyland tonight. The Tigers have just picked up the first hit of the game. Strike 1 on Andy. Dirks, along with a really good batting average and power numbers at AAA, stole 10 bases. The 0-1. Make it 0-2.
Jim was commenting before the game yesterday, and he made the comment that this is the fastest team that he feels like he's had since he's been the manager of the Tigers. Of course, you've got Jackson at the top. You've got Dirks, who can run. Bosch, not a bad runner, batting 3rd.
The 0-2. His teams have never really seemed to be built around speed, have they?
Nope. Power hitters. Run producers.
Here's the 1-2. Driven in the air, hard to right field. Repko goes back, leaps, and he makes the catch.
Wow.
Oh, what a play by Jason Repko. Dirks absolutely crushed that ball, and Repko is still down. That is a whale of a play.
Said he got the wind knocked out of him. He was already playing deep, and once he gets to the warning track, he takes a couple of steps and he jumps. And as soon as the ball goes in the glove, he makes contact with the wall, but the ball stayed in the glove. Can't make a better play than that.
That wall got on him quickly after he left his feet.
That's one thing about having a chance to take batting practice on the field and taking some fly balls off the bat, as Repko did in right field today. It's a different feel once you go from the grass to the warning track. You can feel how hard that warning track is, and you know that pretty soon you're going to have to brace for contact against that wall.
Peralta fouls it back out of play. In your playing days, do you remember ever crashing into a wall that just wouldn't give? Were there some stadiums that had some really bad walls?
In the minor leagues, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's where most of my time was spent, playing the outfield. When I was in the major leagues, I was pretty much a designated hitter, but I ran into quite a few walls in the minor leagues, and they didn't have that good padding on the walls as they do now.
Here's the 0-1.
Most of those fences in the minor leagues were wood or bricks.
Who was the guy that ran through the wall in Portland? Rodney McCray.
Rodney McCray.
Yeah. He ran right through it.
Right through it. And didn't get hurt.
No. Just kept going. 0-2. Right back up the middle into center, base hit. Hey, your guy's got a single.
He's been outstanding. I was talking to Lloyd before the game today, and I was asking him about Peralta, and we've talked about this, the fact that his numbers were under 100 as a batting average in spring training. And I said, Lloyd, did he ever want to deviate away from what you guys were working on in the spring because the numbers were so bad. Lloyd said, I told him, I don't care if you don't get one hit down here in Lakeland, Florida. Continue to work on this swing, driving the ball up the middle, and I guarantee you will be rewarded for it.
Well, that reward right now is an average north of 300, a 10-game hitting streak at this point. And now it's an opportunity for Alex Avila.
Peralta's playing better than I can ever remember him playing while wearing a Cleveland Indians uniform.
Agreed. You know, when he was with the Indians, I mean, we would see Peralta a lot, obviously, because being in the same division, but you always came away with, you know, he's a pretty good player, he's got a little bit of power, but never really wowed you. But the start he's gotten off to this year has been extremely impressive. Power numbers, driving in runs. Tigers have their second hit, both singles here in the second inning. Two and 0.
Good hitters count here for Avila. Should he get a fastball from Baker?
Rick Porcello has gone through 2 uneventful innings. Tigers trying to get him some early offense here. Avila batting .280. 2-1. Had a big rip. Alex's .280 average and 29 RBIs lead all American League catchers.
But yet he is way behind the guy in New York as far as making the All-Star team as a starter.
He's even behind Mauer, and Mauer hasn't played this year much. I mean,
that's funny.
Not if you're Avila, I guess. But he's over 400,000 votes behind Russell Martin.
Well, the Yankees always get voted in.
True.
Jeter's leading at shortstop right now.
Okay, well, that answers a lot of questions right there. Tiger fans come to the ballpark, stuff the ballots.
They need to. Our guys need some help.
The 2-1. 2-2 on Avila. Ask and you shall receive the leaders.
That's ridiculous.
The whole infield are Yankees.
And the outfield, too, center field, Curtis Grant. And you know what? There's a pretty good chance that all those guys will start the All-Star game.
Can you imagine that?
There's a pretty good chance that every single one of those guys will start in the All-Star game.
Wow. Now, obviously, it's still very early. I mean, this is the first batch of results we've had come out from Major League Baseball, but wow. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Avila. Slice toward left. It's down, a base hit. This will get a run in, it appears, and it will. Martinez slides in safely. Alex Avila with an opposite field RBI hit.
Alex Avila is really starting to mature in RBI situations, and one of the reasons why is he doesn't panic. He had a couple of good swings at a fastball, and then he shortens up his swing on the breaking ball that stays up for him from Baker, and he's able to drive in the first run of the game. You know what, just to finish that thought on that All-Star voting there, and I love Derek Jeter, but really the only one that's not deserving it is probably him. I mean, A-Rod's a star, Cano's a star, Teixeira's good, Martin's having a good year, and Curtis Granderson has 17 homers.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I'm just not real keen on the heavy Yankee flavor, I suppose. And I understand how the voting works. Hinge fouls it away. I don't think you ever totally want to take the fans out of the voting process. This is their game, and I think they should have some say in who starts that game. But a lot of times the numbers get lost. Avila last year picked up his 30th RBI, by the way, in late September. September 20th. There's a strike on Brandon, 0-2. So it's pretty amazing the season that Avila has put together. He had 31 RBIs for the entire season last year. He may surpass that tonight. Inge starting to perk up a little bit with the bat. That's been a good sign. He's been taking some walks. He's had a couple of hits in the series. And he swings and misses. Struck him out. Tigers settle for 1 run. They strand a pair. Tiger baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire.
I mean, he'd get a special guy. What a special guy for our organization and baseball.
That's Jim Thome on the great Harmon Killebrew, who recently passed away. They had a memorial at Target Field for Mr. Killebrew, and a lot of those things that Jim Thome said could be said about Jim Thome himself. But Harmon, one of the most well-liked players in the game, and recently passed away. Baseball lost a tremendous ambassador, and his number 3 hangs in the dugout. And the number 3 patches as well on the uniforms this year. So the Twins will bat here in the third, 1-0 in favor of the Detroit Tigers. It'll be Repko, Butera, and Denard Span. And Porcello delivers a strike on Mr. Repko. Seems to be okay after slamming into the wall on that great catch against Dirks. 0-2.
They already lost one right fielder in this series, trying to make a spectacular catch in the outfield. That would be Jason Kubel, who was injured while he was trying to catch Victor Martinez's home run in the opening game of this series.
One and two. Mike Gardenhire's got to be thinking, will I ever this year have my full allotment of players?
Well, you walk through that Twins clubhouse, and you would not know that they're playing the kind of baseball they're playing right now, 17-36. The clubhouse is upbeat, and the reason why the clubhouse is upbeat is because they have an outstanding leader in Ron Gardenhire.
Porcello racks up a strikeout, his third of the game. Let's go back to the studio now. Time for a game break. Here's Mickey York. All right, thank you, Mickey. Well, it kind of took the suspense out of that, or the celebration. They had to put it on hold, but Kansas City coming up with a win against the Angels. Saw Chicago won again today over Boston. There's a bouncer to short. Johnny Peralta right there.
Don't look now, but the White Sox are coming. They're just 4 games under 500, and the Tigers start a big weekend series. They're on Friday night. How about them going into Boston and sweeping Boston, as good as the Boston Red Sox looked here when they were here just a few days ago?
It was impressive. There's no doubt about that.
And they did miss Beckett, and they did miss Buckles, however. That's a big difference.
Well, that's huge, yeah. 2 very big pieces in the Boston rotation. Here's Span. He takes a strike. Only base runner so far tonight for the Twins. The walk by Danny Valencia back in the second. Good pitch. 0-2. Tigers in that series in Chicago will see some pretty good pitching. Burley, Jackson, and Peavy. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Way inside.
We'll have our big boys going too.
One and two on Span, who popped up to start the game. 0 for 1. Pulled on the ground, and it's going to get through. It finds a hole. A seeing-eyed single for Mr. Span. Denard has his third hit of this series. That's their first of the game. Now Casilla. Alexi is 0 for 1. One of the 3 strikeouts. Driven in the air toward right field and caught on a mini leap by Bosch. Casilla hit it hard, but not hard enough. Inning over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Brendan Bosch to the wall to make the play. Of the third here at Comerica Park. It'll be the top of the lineup coming up against Scott Baker. Don Kelly leads it off, and Ramon Santiago and Brennan Bosch. Baker throws a strike to Kelly, who flied out his first at bat. It was a lengthy at bat. Don has hit safely in his last 4. It's lifted toward left, slicing. Back out of play. 0-2. Tigers got a run in the second on the 2-out RBI single by Alex Avila. Here's the 0-2. Another one fouled back out of play. Kelly had a 9-pitch at bat against Baker his first time up. There's a bouncer to first base right at Morneau. Baker covers, 1 out.
while we have a moment, we would like to wish Gloria Horton a very happy birthday. Of course, she is the better half of Willie Horton, and today is her day. And Gloria, we hope that you're having a spectacular evening tonight.
Now, I understand, and I was here in the booth when Willie came in yesterday. He does not want you to give the number out. The birthday number.
You heard the number. Give it out.
No, I'm not going to do it. You think I want Willie Horton knocking on my door?
You know you don't.
No. Let's just leave it at happy birthday, Gloria.
You trying to get me to say it?
Yeah. I want to get you in trouble.
You trying to bait me?
I will. Gave it a shot.
She's a fine lady.
Here's Santiago. That's low. 2 balls, no strikes. Santiago bounced out in the first inning. And Baker's 2-0 pitch. A little bit outside, 3-0. Baker followed up a 15-win season with 12 victories last year. Works very quickly. The 3-0 pitch. And ball 4.
Fans, if you want to have a great time, have a picnic or a party at an upcoming Tigers game, group tickets and party suites are on sale now. With groups of 15 or more receiving discount tickets to select games. Call 313-471-BALL or visit Tigers.com.
Middle of the lineup coming up now as Bosch digs into the batter's box. Flied out to right field in his first at bat. And Baker misses high and away. 1-0. That'll bring Butera out to the mound. Drew's dad Sal used to catch for the Minnesota Twins, scouting now with the Toronto Blue Jays.
I've seen him a few times this year on the road doing his work.
Drew born in Evansville, Indiana.
Don Mattingly's from Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah, it's true. Ball outside. Tigers AAA team used to be in Evansville.
I played there.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Waving a miss, 2-1. It's been a while, though, since they've been in Evansville.
Wait a minute now. Come on.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way. It came out wrong, but I didn't mean it that way.
I'm just kidding.
In other words, you're old. I'm kidding. Here's the 2-1. That's high. 3 balls, 1 strike.
So far, some of the Tigers are doing pretty nice work laying off that high fastball that Baker likes to feature. He likes to throw it above the belt buckle at about 91 to 92 miles an hour. It looks like you can really get to it, and because it's not all that hard, but you really can't. He'd throw it right by you. There you have it.
3-2.
Right on cue, as a matter of fact.
Bosch right now with 4 home runs, 25 RBIs. Had a really good April, slowed down in May, and hopefully trying to pick it up here in the month of June. How much did you pay attention to when the calendar turned to the next month? Did it make any difference to you if you were struggling or going good?
I really didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the calendar. What I did is I looked at all my at-bats in increments of 100. If I had 31 hits in that first 100 at-bats, I knew I only had to get 29 the next time around to stay at 300. That's how I looked at my at-bats.
Interesting. Well, Bosch has gotten a walk, back-to-back base on balls, the first 2 of the game for Baker. Rick Anderson coming out now, the Minnesota pitching coach. And we'll see how they want to deal with Miguel Cabrera here with only one out.
He pitched him well. Cabrera's first time up today. Fastballs up, breaking balls down and away, and Cabrera swung on a couple of breaking balls that were out of the strike zone.
So home plate umpire Rob Drake coming out to break up the party. Rick Anderson has been the pitching coach in Minnesota since 2002.
Same year Gardenhire took over.
And they've had some, well, really a really good run together. Although it's hit the skids this year with their struggles.
They're not getting a lot of sleep these days.
So now Cabrera, 2 on, 1 out. Breaking ball and a wave and a miss. Miguel struck out in the second. Had his 12-game hitting streak ended by Minnesota pitching last night. Although he was on base 3 times, 3 walks, 2 of them intentional. Driven to the air hard to left field. That ball is up and that ball is gone. Another line drive home run for Miguel Cabrera.
He's smart. Very, very smart hitter. He had an idea that Baker wasn't going to throw him another breaking ball. He was looking for the fastball. It was up. And his hand speed is so lethally quick getting through the zone. He starts another hitting streak.
That's what your big horse is paid to do, and that's home run number 11. And the Tigers have jumped out to a 4-0 lead. Both of the walks come around to score. Tigers have only 2 3-run homers this year, both of them off the bat of Cabrera. Both of those, by the way, have come in the last 8 days. Victor Martinez, the batter. Lifted foul, 0-2 on Victor. So the Tigers keep their extra base hit streak going with the home run here by Cabrera, which means they have an extra base hit again in every game so far. They've not missed one yet. Ooh, we tried to hold up, couldn't do it. Victor knew it, and he's out of there. 3rd strikeout for Baker. We'll bring up Andy Dirks. Andy hit a ball about as hard as you can hit one in his last at bat. Repko made a leaping play against it up against the wall in right. Hit the wall hard and came down, but seems to be no worse for the wear. That left shoulder took a pounding.
Can you imagine if there was no padding on that wall?
Oh, I'd rather not. Although Repko, all he has to do is turn around and read the dynamic rehabilitation sign out there for neck and back pain. That's high. 3 balls, no strikes. Three and 1 on Andy Dirks. 4 Tigers hits, 4 runs on 4 hits. Johnny on deck. And the 3-1. Popped him up. Foul ground. Butera and Morneau Oh, and it falls between them. Oh, my goodness. Ay, ay, ay.
Make it hurt.
I got it. You got it.
The way that Butera peeled off there at the end, someone must have said something.
No play is the ruling. And he lost it. Ball 4. Third walk in the inning. That'll bring up Peralta.
Should have been an error on that play to somebody, but the official scorekeeper here couldn't decide who to give it to.
I guess who would you give that to? It fell between 3 guys. Although you'd probably take the pitcher out of the equation and go with either the first baseman or the catcher. But
that's right.
I don't know that you can give anybody an error. Here's Peralta. Seventh man at bat in the inning. Cabrera has hit a 3-run homer. There have been 3 walks in this frame.
Not a bad time to run if you feel like you can get a good jump off Baker, which is difficult to do. He's very quick.
And there he goes. Here comes the throw from Butera. Bounces into center.
And Dirk's quick too.
And Andy, who had 10 steals in the minor leagues, picks up his first stolen base in the big league.
That's only the 2nd stolen base against Baker this year because he's very quick getting the ball to home plate. But Butera really rushed his throw and he bounced it. And the ball was not able to get picked out of the carpet by Kadire. But had it been a good throw, he'd have been safe anyway.
You just have a feeling there, or was it the count?
I just kind of felt like with 2 outs, Johnny's been driving in lots of runs, and you got a feeling in the on-deck circle if they chose to walk Johnny for some reason or another. Just kind of thinking out the scenario. Talking to Dirks today, and I told you last night that the North Woods League, which is a summer league, he holds the record for getting on base in 52 consecutive games. He told me the following year, it took until the 2nd to last game in college to where he didn't get on base. So very lengthy streak there in 06 for Andy Dirks.
High fly to left. Delman Young coming over.
Tiptoeing.
Ooh, he's tiptoeing, and that's going to go foul. Tiptoeing's a perfect way to describe that. He was gingerly getting to the corner.
Minnesota, they are not playing like Minnesota Twins. They made a couple of mistakes in last night's game, throwing the errant bases. They were giving them bunts, and they didn't make the play. That Wall was closing in on Delman, and he just didn't make that play. A ball that he will tell you himself he should have caught.
So for the 2nd time in this inning, a Tiger gets new life. That is an error on Delman Young, E7. There's a high fly to left center field. Span cruising over. And they will avoid further damage. However, there was some damage in the inning. Mr. Cabrera with a line drive home run. 4-0. Detroit is brought to you by AT and by Nestle Juicy Juice, the very best juice for the very best kids. And by Rick Porcello's glove, which is right there. Well, Miguel Cabrera with a 3-run homer, and the Tigers have opened up a little bit of breathing room now. It's 4-0 Detroit as we go to the top of the 4th. Justin Morneau leads it off, and then Kadire and Thome.
I did say Cabrera was my pick to click, didn't I?
No, you did not. You said Peralta.
Didn't I say it first, though, Cabrera?
Yeah, you did, actually.
No, I said Peralta.
You said
he's always a good bet.
Yeah, he's always a good bet, but you didn't really pick him. You got to stick with Peralta.
I'll take Johnny.
There's still a lot of baseball to be played.
No doubt.
Here's the 0-1. Morneau flied out his first time up, 0 for 1.
You have to pitch Morneau away and make him beat you to left field. We know what he can do when he gets out in front of a fastball or a breaking ball. He can find those seats in right field. He did it twice yesterday. And here's proof of that. Once in the 3rd and once in the 7th.
Signs that Morneau is busting out of it for Minnesota. There's a bouncer to second base right at Santiago. 0 for 2 for Morneau. 1 gone in the 4th. Porcello has gotten a few ground balls in this game. We'll bring up Kadire. He has struck Kadire out in his only at bat. And a strike called, 0-1. Michael back at second base for this game. We've seen him in right and at second. Ground ball, third base side. Brandon has it. 2 outs. A couple of grounders for the sinking Rick Porcello. Well, his pitches sink at least. There's Thome. He bounced out.
When you're a special player, and they create special defenses for you.
Strike 1 on Thome, who right now has 593 home runs.
Yeah, but really the only way that you can defend this guy is if you've got somebody you could put up there in those right field seats that's got a glove and a Tigers uniform on. He is marching towards 600 home runs.
Here's the 1-1.
Thome kind of holds his bat in the same fashion as Cabrera, Maglio. He's got the knob resting comfortably in the palm of his hand, and the 2 bottom fingers are off the bat.
2-2.
Got a lot of tape on that bat too down there.
Sure does.
Can't even see the bat knob unless you look underneath. Our cameras can get in there.
Well, Thome, as we mentioned, marching towards 600 home runs. Which pitchers has he hit the most homers against? Rick Reed has given up 9 of them. He's hit 8 off of Clemens. And there's our own Justin Verlander, who's given up 7 of Thome's home runs.
You've also on that list. So he's hit him off some pretty good pitchers.
Two and 2. And a ball outside, 3-2.
A few years ago when Thome hit his 500th home run, and Verlander got an autographed bat by Jim Thome, and he autographed the bat to Justin. Thanks for the help.
Which is still one of the great stories. Thanks for all the help. There's a walk. 2 gone. And that'll be the second walk given up by Porcello. The other was to this batter right now, Valencia. There's Verlander.
Pitching Friday night in Chicago. Must see TV. Must see TV.
I think they changed the order.
They changed the order?
Yep. Oliver's going Friday.
Oh, okay.
Against Burley.
Well, He's must-see, too.
Verlander gets Edwin Jackson on Saturday. Slack toward right, and this one is headed foul.
You know anything about that?
I do not.
I know he threw a bunch of pitches.
Yep, and maybe Skip's giving him another day. What did he throw? 130 some.
Yeah, I guess that's probably why.
Verlander got a haircut too. Own one. Little looper into left. Base hit. So a 2-out threat going now for Minnesota. Valencia gets the second Minnesota hit on the board. And it keeps it going for Delman Young. Delman is 0 for 1 in this game. Oh, and 1. Delman, of course, is the younger brother of former Tiger Dimitri Young, and apparently they have a sister, Deanne, who's playing softball at Oregon State. A very good athlete. The 0-1 pitch. Line to right field. Here comes Bosch. Stretching out to make the catch.
He robbed his workout buddy, Delman Young. They work out together in the offseason.
Took a double and an RBI away. Bosch, a terrific play in right. Gather together in the Arizona desert for one spectacular night in summer's biggest event as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix at 8 p.m. Eastern on your local Fox station.
It's a pretty nice play by Brennan Bosch in the outfield, because once you sell out for this ball, if it gets past you, you know that Delman Young's going to end up on third base and he's going to drive in a couple. So very nice play by Brennan.
Alex Avila swings on the first and sends it deep to center. Span under it, one gone.
Slow it down for you.
And Porcello was there to greet him. A lot of times, right, outfielders as big as Bosch are kind of tentative and stretching out like that and diving like that.
If for whatever reason that time he was cool with it and made a nice play.
There's a strike called on Brandon Inge.
See a lot of guys in the outfield these days sliding the other way. They're like they're sliding into a base, feet first. Can avoid injuries that way.
Inge fanned back in the second, 0 for 1. Baker's 1-1. And Inge goes down on strikes again, 2 away, and that'll be the 4th strikeout for Baker. Now the top of the order, Don Kelly. Of course, the Tigers will have a decision to make hopefully sometime soon, because Maglio Ordonez over the weekend will be playing for Toledo, starting a rehab assignment, and the word is that he'll play at least over the weekend, and Jim Leyland wants to make sure that he's good to go when he comes back. He's going to have to play the outfield when he comes back. So if it takes longer than the weekend, he's good with that. He'll give him as much time as he needs, but when he does come back, they'll have to make a decision. The 1-0. Long run for Casilla and Valencia. Valencia couldn't quite pull it in.
Yeah, this is where you really appreciate a third baseman like Brandon Inge on a play like this. He makes the play with regularity. It's a very difficult play, but Brandon makes it look easy.
No play. The 1-1. Slice to left, base hit. Kelly's first hit tonight. Speaking of Maglio, he's been working out around the ballpark here the last week.
He looks good. He's swinging the bat very well. He ran the bases a couple of days ago. He has a new orthotic in his right shoe, which is kind of alleviating the pain in that right foot. And they're hoping he can come back and help this lineup by batting third.
Friday night is when his rehab will begin for Toledo. Strike one on Ramon Santiago. Walked and scored ahead of the home run by Cabrera back in the third. The 0-1 pitch. Pulled on the ground right by Morneau. Kelly hits the bag at second. Here he comes to third. He's in there standing up. Santiago has a base hit.
Tigers taking advantage of the non-play by Valencia on the pop-up, which would have ended the inning when Don Kelly was batting. And Santiago continues his real good numbers against Baker.
That'll set up Bosch, who also has a walk and a run scored. Tigers now about hit the Twins 6-2. Of course, the big one was the 3-run shot by Miguel Cabrera back in the third. One and one. Kelly started this with a 2-out single, and then Santiago pushed him to third with a base hit. Ron Gardenhire staring at a sweep here unless his team can come back. They're down by 4. Tigers got to Baker with 1 in the second, 3 in the third. To shallow left field for Delman Young, who camps under it, and the inning is over. Tigers threaten, do not score. They get a couple of hits and lead 2.
Seattle Mariners, June 9th through the 12th. Get your tickets now at 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com.
Rick Porcello back to the hill in a 4-0 game. Porcello has not been tested all that much tonight. He has given up just 2 hits. He has walked a couple as well. And he will face Jason Repko to lead it off, the former Los Angeles Dodger. Repko played 5 years in L.A. and in April of last year, Dodgers released him. Minnesota picked him up. Little pop-up left side of the infield. Peralta hauls it in, 1 gone. Now the catcher, Drew Butera. For 1 for Butera. Talk about his dad Sal a little bit earlier in the game. His father actually played for the Tigers for 1 year back in the early 80s, 1983. And of course for the Minnesota Twins. 1 ball, 1 strike. So like father like son, both playing for Minnesota. To shallow left. Kelly on the charge. 2 gone. couple of quick outs for Rick Porcello. On the top of the order, Denard Span. Santiago right there. Going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning for Porcello. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Tigers up 4-0 in this one as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And it'll be the big fella leading things off against Scott Baker. It'll be Cabrera. And then Martinez and Andy Dirks against the Twins right-hander. Miguel with a 3-run shot. And really the big difference. Tigers had a slim lead, and then Cabrera's 3-run homer happened in the 3rd. Busting it open a bit. Here's the 0-1. Baker in his last start went 7 scoreless innings against the Angels. That was on May 27th, and his bullpen absolutely let him down. The Twins pen allowed 5 runs in the 8th. Twins lost that game.
Let's take a look at Cabrera. He hit a couple of home runs in this series, and I talk about hands inside the ball all the time. Take a look at his hands. He leads with the bat knob. All of a sudden, he pulls his hands in very close to his body. You don't even see the bat head until the last possible second. He's able to keep that ball fair, even though it was running in on his hands. And
high fly ball to right field. Repko is under this one. And they get Cabrera. 1 out here in the 5th. We'll bring up Victor Martinez. Victor singled, scored a run. That came back in the 2nd. One of 6 Detroit hits in this game. Tigers have out hit the Twins 6-2 here this evening. Baker quickly ahead now, 0-2. Driven to center field. Span coming on. Still coming on. He'll make the catch. 2 up, 2 down on a couple of fly balls. And that leaves it up to Andy Dirks. Baker came in 6-4 lifetime against the Tigers, but his ERA was just south of 5. Ball 1 to Dirks.
Tigers doing a pretty nice job today at laying off that elevated fastball that Baker features. Lloyd McClendon said he was hoping his team would do as much tonight. I've always kind of thought that he hid the baseball very well, but Lloyd was telling me today he doesn't really hide it all that well. He just works above the belt buckle and has pretty good command with that fastball up. Therefore, and lots of swings and misses, not only from the Tigers on occasion, but other teams in the American League. I told you before the game, if you weren't with us, that since the beginning of the 2009 season, 29 victories for Baker, which is 6th most by a right-handed pitcher in the American League.
It's skied in the air to shallow left. The shortstop is back. Casilla right in front of Young, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Baker. 3 fly ball outs. To the 6th we go. Tonight, the Tigers last led the American League in total sacrifices in 1958. Which Tiger led the team that year? 1958 is the last time they led the American League in sacrifices. And who was the team leader? That is your question. And here's why we're asking that question tonight. Because the Tigers are tied with Kansas City for the most sacrifices this year, 43.
I didn't know Detroit played that much small ball this year.
Alexi Casilla leads it off as we go to the 6th inning. The sacrifices includes flies and sacrifice bunts.
You don't want to say sacrifice is too loud. The book on baseball, Pat Caputo, will get upset at you.
Why?
He doesn't like to sacrifice bunt.
Bill Brown doesn't like to sacrifice either.
No.
2 balls, no strikes. There are arguments for and against, I suppose. I think there are times in a game where the sacrifice certainly is in order. Late in the game. Get a runner on. Go for a base hit to try and win a ball game.
Well, last night's situation was screaming for a sacrifice bunt, and the Tigers manufactured a run there late by having a couple of sac bunts.
The other argument is you only have 27 outs. Why give any of them away?
No, you got to play smart, though. You got to get those bunts down. Casper Wells was the one that surprised me, though. His first major league sac bunt.
Casilla has a walk, and Porcello now has walked 3.
Well, while we're talking about it, let's just revisit it for a moment. If you weren't with us, the Tigers were able to take the lead in the 8th inning last night. Leadoff single by Worth. Successful bunt by Jackson. Also, Casper Wells got his bunt down. Now you've got a couple of guys in scoring position, and Brennan Bodge against a left-hander lofted a fly ball deep enough in the outfield to score Danny Worth.
Morneau out in front, pops it straight up, shallow right. Bosch will make the play, and that's the first out of the 6th inning. Back to the studio we go. Game break time. Here's Mickey York.
The second baseman, Michael Kadire.
Geez, Mickey, thanks for the great news. Indians rolling tonight, and they came in with a lead over the Tigers. That was 5 games coming in.
It's going to be a fun summer. Tigers have a boatload of games left against the Cleveland Indians this year.
It's fouled off at home plate, and that one got Avila. Josh Tomlin started that game for the Indians. Kyle Drabek got beat up a little bit for Toronto. Oh, 0-2 on Michael Kadire. 1 on, 1 out. We're in the 6th inning here. Tigers on top 4-0. Hit it the other way into right field. Base hit. Casilla will stop at second base. And now the Twins have something brewing here. As Kadire gets his first hit tonight. And for the Twins, just 3 hits off Porcello. They're going to pinch hit for Jim Thome. Trevor Plouffe.
Something must be wrong with Jim Thome.
Thome spent some time on the disabled list with an oblique problem, and he recently came back, but now he gives way to Plouffe. He was homered 3 times this year. And Porcello gets ahead 0-1.
Well, here's where Rick does his best work. There's 1 out. He throws lots of ground balls. He has done that since coming to the big leagues in 2009. And if he throws another one here, he'll get himself out of this inning. Mr. White, Jerry to be exact, first base coach for the Minnesota Twins. He's been with Ron Gardenhire since Gardenhire took over as well. Pretty much his whole staff.
The 0-2. 1-2 on Plouffe, who got to the big leagues last year for the first time. And played in 22 games. Another one of these guys spent a lot of years in the minors with Minnesota, 7+ years. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball to third. Brandon knocks it down. He'll go to second. He is out there. Early.
Well, Porcello threw the ground ball, but it was whistled off the bat of Plouffe, and Brandon couldn't field it cleanly. And by the time he got to Santiago, Santiago wisely held on to the baseball and did not try to turn it over.
Here's Danny Valencia. First and third, 2 out. Backed him out of there, 1-0. Pretty good night tonight for Valencia. Single and a walk. And Porcello right now, as we play here in the 6th inning, has thrown 81 pitches. To the left side of the infield for Peralta. They'll get the force. Inning over. Porcello gets a ground ball to end the inning. He's thrown a shutout through 6.
Coors Light Freeze Cam. We're going to take you back to the 4th inning. Daleman Young making a bid for an extra base hit with a couple of runners on base, and Brennan Bosch stretches out with that 6-foot 4-inch frame and able to make a diving catch. Coors Light Freeze Cam, always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
So the Tigers take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the 6th inning tonight. 4 runs, 6 hits for Detroit. No runs, 3 hits for Minnesota. Peralta, Avila, and Inge coming up here in the bottom of the 6th. Baker has just thrown his 97th pitch of the night. Johnny tonight a single in 2 at-bats. And he pulls this one over the head of Danny Valencia. Leadoff single here in the 6th inning. And that'll be the 7th Tigers hit.
Johnny Peralta just continues to get it done.
Vila knocked in a run back in the second with a base hit to left field. And that gave Alex 30 RBIs on the year, which is just one shy of his total from last season. Breakout year for Avila. Strike one on Alex. One in the second and three in the third for Minnesota. Fouled straight back. No balls, 2 strikes. Chuck James starting to throw in the Minnesota bullpen. It looks like he'll be next out of their pen. As the right-hander Baker has just thrown his 100th pitch of the night. Peralta has put together a team high 15th multiple hit game, which is one more than Miguel Cabrera. Baker's high this year is 109 pitches. Fly ball center field, hit pretty good. Span going back, still going back to the track, to the wall to make the catch. Boy, oh boy, Avila hit that one a ton. 420 out in dead center. He hit it to the wall. First out of the inning. AT&T trivia question again tonight. Sacrifices. The Tigers last led the American League in total sacrifices in 1958. Which player led the team? That would be Billy Martin, who had 19 that year. His one season with the Tigers was 1958, and of course he managed Detroit 71 to 73.
He was a great manager, tremendous motivator.
Here's Brandon Inge, waving a miss. Brandon has struck out twice in this game. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Here comes a throw, a one hopper, but it's on target. And Johnny is thrown out by Butera.
Even though the count was no balls and 1 strike, that appeared to be a hit and run by the way that Brandon Inge swung at the baseball. And you could tell by Peralta taking a couple of steps in after he takes a couple of steps. A look in, I should say. Nice pick by Kadire down there.
One ball, 2 strikes on Brandon. So the bases are empty now. Baker has not allowed a run since the 3-run homer off the bat of Miguel Cabrera. That was back in the 3rd. 24,363 is your attendance tonight on another great night here in the Motor City. It was 78 at game time. It's still in the mid-70s, 75 degrees on a clear night here. Finally, the rain not causing havoc with any Tigers games. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That'll become an issue in June when the Tigers had a couple of off days taken away because of makeups.
What'd you say last night? Tigers will play 37 games in 38 days starting this Friday.
Swing and a miss. Yeah, it's going to be a tough month of June, but they'll get through it. Inge has struck out for the 3rd time tonight.
But will we get through it?
Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Camp Day. Today at Tim Hortons, buy a coffee and donate to help send more kids to camp. Back here in downtown Detroit as we head to the 7th inning now. It's 4-0 in favor of the Tigers. They are going for the sweep of the Minnesota Twins. Delman Young will lead it off against Rick Porcello, who has been in cruise control mode for most of the night. Young, Repko, Butera, the bottom 3 for Ron Gardenhire. Delman in the series is 1 for 10. Ball 1 outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. It'll spin him out of there. 2-1 the count. Young has hit the ball in the air twice. He was robbed by the right fielder Brennan Bosch, who laid out and made a diving catch on his line drive in the 4th. And he whistles that one foul. 2-2 on Delman Young. His 112 RBIs last season was good for 12th in the American League. The Twins, of course, had another really good year last year. That's a little looper that's going to fall in for a base hit.
Yeah, breaking ball stayed up. Hey fans, when this one ends, our coverage continues with Tigers Live as we bring you all the highlights, reaction, and analysis. Tigers Live from the Call Sam Studios and here at the ballpark immediately after the game on Fox Sports Detroit. There's that breaking ball. It's up, and that's the difference in it being a base hit in the outfield versus a ground ball for Porcello.
Jason Repko, the batter. Struck out in the 3rd, popped up in the 5th. One and one. Ground ball foul, third base side, and now the count 2-2 on Repko. Action in the Tigers bullpen. Albuquerque warming up again, and so is Schlereth.
Albuquerque has been racking up some impressive strikeout numbers.
Three and two. Little pop up to the shortstop, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Repko is out of there. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Young has to hold at first base. Now the catcher, Drew Butera. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Porcello this year has had 6 of his 9 starts. It'd be really good ones. In fact, he's given up 2 or fewer runs in 6 of 9. Got on that really good stretch, which came to an end against Boston in his last start. But he's got another good one going tonight. He's not allowed a run yet. And he's pitching into the 7th.
Touched 92 here tonight. He's gone as low as 75 with that slow breaking ball.
Fly ball hit well to left field. Kelly is on the run. Back to the track, to the wall, and this one carries out.
Wow, his first home run of the year.
A 2-run shot by the number 9 hitter Drew Butera, and all of a sudden it's 4-2.
Butera hitting 124. A little fastball right down the middle. And Butera put his best swing on it.
Fifth hit of the game is a big one for Minnesota. The lead has been chopped in half for the Tigers. Now 4-2. Span rolls one foul. Twins have not been able to do anything against Rick. Until now, a single and a 1-out 2-run shot by Butera. 0 for 3 tonight for Denard Span. 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. 1-2 on Span. Two and two, make it 3-2 on Span.
It's a good idea by Porcello and Avila going to the changeup there, trying to get Span to roll over. Span, real good fastball hitter, but sometimes struggles on breaking pitches because he really doesn't stride with that front foot. Just kind of picks it up and put it down, and every now and then you can get out in front of breaking balls. It's a timing thing with Denard.
Rick trying to pitch around the 2-run homer by Butera here in the 7th, which has given the Twins some life. There's the 3-2. Got him. Strike 3. Span punched out. 4th strikeout of the game for Mr. Porcello. Time now for the Farmers Insurance report card. We're talking a little bit about this in the broadcast yesterday. Games decided by 2 runs or less. Minnesota has had 32 of them, which is tied for most in the American League. Tigers, meanwhile, fewest in Major League Baseball, 19. There's a bunt and a diving attempt by Porcello. It'll drop in safely. Porcello very nearly made an unbelievable play.
He showed some athleticism there.
Also looked like he landed awkwardly on his shoulder. Scary looking play.
At least it's the left shoulder.
So that's going to be it for Rick. Porcello will depart the scene here. Tigers going to the bullpen. And as they do, it's a Wallside Windows pitching change. We'll be back to Comerica Park.
Take a look at Porcello's evening here tonight. It was a good evening. He gave up the 1 home run to Butera. He left the game after diving for the bunt off the bat of Alexi Casilla.
And so Daniel Schlereth will take over now against Justin Morneau. In a 4-2 game, the bunt by Casilla signals the exit for Porcello. Schlereth trying to get the lefty. Oh, and he hit it. Justin Morneau is hit by the pitch, and that'll put 2 men on now. The tying runs are on. And with Michael Kadire due up, that's going to be it for Schlereth. He's going to throw 1 pitch. Here are his numbers, but take a quick look at him. And Leland has signaled for the bullpen with Kadire due up. Not exactly what the skipper was looking for there. Schlereth gives up the baseball. So we'll step aside again. Another pitching change here at the ballpark. 4-2. At first and second, Albuquerque is on now to try and get out of this jam.
Albuquerque has 30 strikeouts in 17 in the third innings pitched so far this year. He pitched in last night's game. He got the wind, as a matter of fact, and he was sensational. A couple of strikeouts in the one frame that he pitched.
His job is to get Michael Kadire. Schlereth threw one pitch and he hit Justin Morneau. And now Kadire, who is 1 for 3 tonight. Ball high. Jim Thome, by the way, left the game with a mild strain in his left quad. That's why they pinch hit for him. Slider low and away. 2-0 on Kadire. Porcello has turned this one over to the bullpen after he gave up a 2-run homer to Butera here in the 7th inning.
Tigers bullpen's been very good on this homestand. Gotten some outstanding innings from several different people. Valverde, Benoit, Furbush, Albuquerque. And they'll need it again here tonight.
.96 last night. Albuquerque throwing in the upper 90s, which Jim Leland commented before the game today was an extra gear.
I'd say so. 99.
Here comes the 3-1. Well, he walked him, and that's going to load the bases. So a bunt single, a hit batter, and a walk. And now Trevor Plouffe. This would have been Thome's spot, but the injury has taken him out of the game. Plouffe came out a pinch hit for him in the 6th fielder's choice ground ball.
We kind of talked about that a little bit last night when Albuquerque came in the game. There are some right-handed veteran hitters in the American League that won't swing at that slider that's out of the strike zone, and Kadire would fall into that category.
Well, and as a result, he got ahead in the count and ends up walking, and now Albuquerque has fallen behind Plouffe. Swing and a miss. They're loaded up with Casilla, Morneau, and Kadire. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Plouffe.
Well, if you're Plouffe, you kind of know what you're going to get on this next pitch. There's no real secret.
Albuquerque loading up one of those sliders. And the 1-2. Oh, right at the knees. He gave him the 97-mile-an-hour gas. And even Porcello is impressed. Albuquerque leaves him loaded. It's a 4-2 ball game. Here's our Comerica game summary for this one tonight. Tigers on top of the Twins by 2. Alex Avila has picked up an RBI, the 30th of the season for Alex. Cabrera, 3-run homer. And Rick Porcello, 6 2/3, allowing 6 hits, and he struck out 4 through 106 pitches in the ball game. Austin Jackson is pinch hitting for Don Kelly to lead things off. Tigers batting in the 7th, and a strike called. New pitcher is Chuck James.
20th game. Actually, James 19 games with Rochester this year, but very good numbers, and he warranted a call up. 37 strikeouts and 28 plus innings for James down in Rochester.
Former Atlanta Brave facing Jackson, who's pinch hitting. Austin had the night off until right now. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Jackson. Santiago and then Bosch here in the Tigers 7th. James missed the entire season in 09 with rotator cuff surgery. Last year tried to battle back in the minor leagues. Signed by the Washington Nationals as a free agent. Fouled straight back. 2-2 on Austin Jackson. So Baker goes 6 in this game. Got him. Jackson down on strikes. 1 gone here in the 7th.
The second baseman, Santiago.
Bring up Santiago. Joaquin Benoit heating up in the Tigers bullpen. James in his days with Atlanta was used as a swingman. Early on in his career, he was a starter for the Braves. Pitched out of the pen and in the rotation for Atlanta in 06 when he had a really good year. Was 11-4. Now pitching out of the Minnesota bullpen these days. And that's popped up. Right side of the infield for Michael Kadire. Two gone. Here comes Bosch. Right at the knees, strike 1. And Bosch pops it up. Left side of the infield. Casilla going back to the grass. And the inning is over. Tigers go 1-2-3. And you're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire.
Text that bat to 31826 or visit Tigers.com for more details.
Here's some changes now for the Tigers. Andy Dirks will move from center to left, and then Jackson will stay in the game in center field, and Casper Wells is the new right fielder, replacing Bosch, and Joaquin Benoit is the new pitcher here in the eighth. It'll be Danny Valencia to lead it off here in the top of the eighth. Tigers lead by 2, and they've out-hit the Twins by 1 as they search for the sweep in this series. Got some work to do, though. Benoit, according to Jim Leyland before the game, has improved because, in Jim's words, he feels that he has found his confidence again with his changeup, and he's been able to spot his fastball a lot better. Those two things have led to a resurgence from the eighth inning specialist who lost that job briefly.
All in one day.
Didn't last long, did it?
Nope, one day. Last 6 games, pretty good. Opponent's batting average 158 against Joaquin. A couple of saves and a couple of holds in that span.
Here's the 1-1. 2-1 on Danny Valencia. If the Tigers win here tonight, they finish at 6-3 on this homestand as they hit the road beginning Friday. Way outside. Now it's 3-1. Benoit came in the 9th inning to close it yesterday. Valverde was not available. And Joaquin gave up a single and a walk, but he got a couple of big outs to close it out. And there's Papa Grande. He's good to go tonight. Three-1 pitch. Driven to center field. Jackson is there. One away. Here's Delman Young. Twins did not score in this game against Porcello until they got 2 in the 7th. This is still Rick's game to win if the bullpen can get that victory for him. Young a single and a run scored in the 7th inning. Albuquerque got the strikeout of Trevor Plouffe to end the 7th. Skipper was saying there were as many as 12 teams that were interested in signing Albuquerque in the offseason.
That many?
Yeah, apparently the Yankees were hot and heavy after him. The Tigers ended up with Al, and Al is having the time of his life right now in the big leagues. Here's the 0-2.
Do you happen to know off the top of your head where he pitched at last year?
I think it was Tulsa.
And they gave up on him?
Well, I assume he had the same stuff last year.
Yeah.
Unless it just kind of appeared this year, which I doubt. So it is kind of perplexing. Here's the 1-2. Driven foul down the left field line. Ooh. Ball was hit a long way. 1-2. The Albuquerque pitched at Tulsa, pitched in 25 games last year. He had trouble with migraine headaches, which landed him on the DL for a while. Only headaches he's dishing out this year are to opposing hitters.
He's got that wipeout slider going these days. I really have not seen a better slider by a right-hander this year. Just haven't.
The 2-2. Or 2-2 the count on Young. What about Bonderman's in his heyday? Was it better, just as good, not as good?
I guess that would be one that I would equate it to. Don't know quite whether Bondo's was better or Albuquerque's were better. They both were tremendous pitches, and they were go-to pitches for both guys.
Outside 3-2 now on Delman Young.
We saw Bonderman when we were out in Seattle, and he said he watches a lot of Tigers games. He might be tuned in tonight.
What's up, Bondo? He probably did some fishing today. Three balls, two strikes. Swing and a miss. Benoit picks up a strikeout.
Benoit does not throw that many breaking pitches, although that was a slider, and it was located beautifully down and away in an area where Young couldn't get to it. And for the most part, he is just a two-pitch pitcher. And that would be the fastball in the mid-90s and that baffling changeup that he features.
Here is Repko with 2 outs. He's 0 for 3 tonight. He's popped up to the shortstop twice. One and one. There's a strike, make it 1-2 on Jason Repko. Did he go? He did not, says Gary Darling. Good call. Tiger bullpen on this homestand, an ERA of 2.59. And he tapped that one foul. And so Repko barely alive. Butera waiting on deck. If Benoit can get Repko here, that means Valverde in the 9th would have a chance to get 3 outs and not have to deal with Morneau. They need a base runner to get at least Morneau another at bat in this game. The 2-2 outside 3-2. Benoit snatches the baseball back, upset with himself. Valverde loosening up. 9th inning will be his. And the 3-2. He popped him up. Shallow left. Dirk's coming in under it. Benoit with a 1-2-3 inning. Well, let's go to the bottom of the 8th. Say this is our favorite fan of the night, don't you think?
Might be one of our favorite fans of all time.
I've been a Tigers fan since 1909. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you have a chance to watch Tigers baseball here tonight. It's been a great night so far. Hopefully they can finish this one off and give you a victory. Miguel Cabrera leading things off for Detroit. James back to work, and it's fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cabrera, Martinez, and Dirks. Tigers have 4 runs, 7 hits. Twins 2 runs, 6 hits. James works very quickly. The 1-1. Chuck came out of the 7th, got him 1-2-3 after Baker had pitched the first 6. Two and 2. Fill it now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And that's inside. He walked him. He got ahead of him and he ends up walking Cabrera.
Hey fans, you can get comprehensive coverage of the Tigers at anytime at FoxSportsDetroit.com. Get the latest news, exclusive videos, expert commentary, photo galleries, and much more. Follow the Tigers and all your favorite teams at FoxSportsDetroit.com.
Here's Victor Martinez. Victor is single in 3 at bats. Ball inside, and now Butera runs out to the mound. He's paid quite a few visits this evening. Alex Burnett warming up for them in the bullpen.
Victor Martinez had a pretty good series, but he's had a pretty good start in a Tigers uniform. They inked him to a 4-year deal to protect Cabrera by batting 5th, and boy, has he done a nice job doing so. 4 hits total for Victor Martinez in this series.
It'll go to right field and hit well. It'll stay in the park, though. Repko makes the play. And then Victor tonight 1 for 4. 1 away. It's going to bring up Andy Dirks. Checked his swing and he rolls it foul.
He'll need to get another bat too.
Dave Dye had a really good article on Andy Dirks and FoxSportsDetroit.com talking about the fact that he is a complete baseball player, and that's been a term used to describe Andy. A baseball player can do a little bit of everything. Dave talked to some of his teammates to get their thoughts, and they've all been impressed with Andy. 1 ball, 1 strike on Dirks. I know his manager's been impressed with him. Dirks tonight is 0 for 2. He has a walk and a stolen base. Cabrera draws a throw. Pulled in the air to right field and hit well. Repko going back again. This time a more conventional catch on a fly ball hit by Dirks. And there are 2 away. It's going to bring up Johnny Peralta. Two for 3 tonight for Johnny, which has extended his hitting streak to 10 in a row. Coming off a tremendous month of May in which he hit .354 last month. Swing and a miss. Miguel Cabrera led off the inning with a walk. Earlier tonight he hit a 3-run homer, and right now that is the difference. It gave the Tigers a 4-0 lead before Minnesota got 2 on Porcello in the 7th. Here's the 1-1. Fly ball hit well left field. Young going back to the track, and he'll make the catch. Inning over. Let's go to the 9th. Time for Papa Grande. Minnesota, and they trail 4-2 to our Tigers, and it'll be Jose Valverde taking over for Detroit. He'll try and record the save here and get the final 3 outs.
And Jim Leyland gave Papa Grande the night off last night because he had worked in 3 consecutive games, and as you could see in save situations, Papa Grande has been tremendous. 13 saves and 13 chances. Opponents hitting .213 against the big right-hander.
Butera will not bat. They'll have a pinch hitter up there for him. Matt Tolbert will hit away here.
Butera just hit a home run.
Yeah, but he was batting 126 before that. Actually, 124. Span and then Casilla to follow. 4-2. Tigers lead by a pair. And ball one to Tolbert.
Well, if you're Jim Leyland, you couldn't have drawn it up any better. Yeah, you get 6+ out of your starter. And you turn it over to Benoit. And also Valverde with a little bit of help there in between from Albuquerque.
Two and 0. Again, the Twins need to put a runner on to get Morneau up to the plate. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it's outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Twins looking for a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate.
Well, let's hope that Papa Grande is not in one of those let's make it interesting moods tonight.
Strike called, 3-1.
Tolbert may be taking another one. Regardless of whether it's a strike or a ball.
He took another one indeed. It's a leadoff walk. That'll bring up Denard Span. Span tonight 1 for 4. Right-handers against Valverde batting just 152. Lefties are better, 250. And the 13 saves for Jose. Good for 3rd in the American League. Span doesn't hit into too many double plays, only 2 this year. And another strike. 0-2 on Denard Span.
Good idea by Valverde. 0-2. Throw one up, see if you can get Span to chase it. Told you can get Span out with off-speed pitches. Valverde has a tremendous split-fingered fastball. If he throws it at the bottom of the strike zone, he'll get a swing and miss or at least a ground ball to get one out. They're going with another fastball, however.
Out of the bullpen tonight for the Tigers, Schlereth, Albuquerque, Benoit, and now Valverde. Benoit had a 1-2-3-8. Handing the baseball over to Valverde.
Valverde doesn't like that one.
Missed it high. And now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes on Span. Alexi Casilla is waiting on deck. Justin Morneau is lurking in the shadows. And the 2-2. He takes low, 3-2. $24,363 in attendance here tonight. Runner goes. Popped up foul, back out of play. And turn Tolbert around, send him back to first base.
For Ron Gardenhire to send Tolbert in this situation with the game on the line, he must have been 100% certain if Span strikes out, Tolbert gets to second base.
Big deep breath for Span. 4-2 Tigers lead here in the 9th. Leadoff man is on via the walk. And the 3-2 runner goes again. Bouncing ball to short. Peralta backs up on it. Has only one play. And it's scooped nicely by Cabrera. 1 out.
And by putting the runner in motion, it took the double play out of the equation. And the nice pick by Cabrera over there.
It's the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Alexi Casilla. Casilla tonight is single, a walk, and an infield hit. The bunt single. That was the last batter that Porcello faced. Strike 1.
Nice catch by Fan. Brought his glove to the game tonight.
He's not giving it up, is he?
No.
Give it to her. He's going to keep the baseball.
All smiles.
And the 0-2. He's showing bunt, and he fouls it off. How about that? Wow. Casilla bunts with 2 strikes and fouls it off.
Whoa.
The last time you saw that.
It's been a while. With the game on the line, I mean, it's not out of the question for a table setter, a guy that has a bunting ability that Casilla has, to attempt to bunt with 2 strikes, but in this situation, obviously very, very risky, and now he strikes out.
Morneau not going to bat. First base open. He'll put him down there and face the right-hander Kadire.
In case you were wondering, Morneau didn't play all that much last year. He's only 0 for 2 in his career against Valverde, but Jim Leyland not going to run the risk of allowing Morneau to tie this game.
Valverde lobbed that thing, and it very nearly bounced into Avila. 3 balls, no strikes. And here comes ball 4. The intentional walk will be issued to Morneau.
That is Morneau's first intentional free pass of the year.
We'll bring Rick Knapp out as they decide how to pitch to Michael Kadire. So this will put the tying runs on. Last night, Jim Leyland decided he had made a mistake by not bringing the lefty Furbush in to face Justin Morneau or walking Morneau. Either way, they pitched to him, and Scherzer gave up a home run to Morneau. This time tonight, they just decided to put him on, and now Kadire, who is 0 for 7 against Valverde, steps in.
Did he say why he didn't take any of the other 2 options?
He did not. He just said I flat out made a mistake. Scherzer was having none of it, though. He said, I made the pitch.
Exactly.
So here's Kadire. 2 on, 2 out, 2-run game. And a bouncing ball to third base. Brandon has it. In time, and the Tigers sweep the Twins. Valverde gets Kadire to end the ball game. And the Tigers have beaten the Twins 9 consecutive games. Well, the Twins made it somewhat interesting, but the Tigers in the end, with one of their greatest fans in attendance tonight, go 6-3 on the homestand. We'll take a break. Plenty more coming up from Comerica Park for 2-year final.